Listen up, because I've been around long enough to know this truth. Sometimes the people closest to you carry a weight that drags your soul down. You ever felt someone's presence hit you like a storm, leaving you uneasy like the air itself is pressing against your spirit? I'm talking about folks who don't just step into your life, they storm through it, leaving chaos in their wake. Not everybody smiling at you is your friend. Some wear masks so convincing you'd think they're angels sent to lift you up. But in truth, they're here to tear you down. The Bible says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour." 1 Peter 5:8. That devil doesn't always show up with horns and fire. Sometimes he's disguised as your kin, your buddy, even your lover. If you're not paying attention, they'll drag you into darkness before you know what hit you. So lean in close, because I'm about to break down the 7 signs straight from the heart, guided by God's wisdom that someone in your life is a demon in disguise. Let's walk this path together with faith as our shield. Number 1, they steal your peace. Peace is a gift from God. It's not just quiet in the room, it's that deep calm in your soul. The kind that holds you steady when the world's falling apart. It's the armor the Lord gives you to protect your heart, your mind, your spirit. Psalm 29:11 says, "The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace." But here's the hard truth: not everyone in your circle is sent to guard that peace. Some are on a mission to snatch it, to unravel it bit by bit until you're a stranger to yourself. You know what I mean? You've been around someone who shifts the whole room without saying a word. They walk in and suddenly the air feels thick, your heart gets heavy, and even if you were on top of the world, you're weighed down. That's not just a bad mood, that's your spirit sensing what your eyes can't yet see. People carrying darkness don't come with neon signs shouting, "I'm here to rob your peace." No, they slip in as friends, lovers, co-workers, even family, wrapped in charm, sweet talk, and fake goodwill. But you've got to look deeper. The real peace thieves work in the shadows. They chip away at your soul with tiny cuts. Maybe it's a jab they call a joke, something that stings, but they laugh it off, making you feel small if you react. Or they're always negative, draining your joy with complaints, always seeing the worst in everything. You're excited about a win, a step forward, and they hit you with, "That's cute, but don't expect too much." They don't need to yell. Sometimes it's a glance, a sigh, a throwaway line that makes you doubt yourself. It's not just their words, it's their energy. You walk away from them feeling like you've run a marathon, your spirit drained, your heart anxious. You can't pinpoint why, because nothing big happened, but your peace is gone, replaced by a weight you can't shake. Here's where it gets dangerous. It's so subtle, you start thinking you're the problem. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I need to try harder. But let me tell you something, your spirit's screaming what your heart's too scared to hear. This person's not for you. These demons in disguise aren't always the loud villains. Sometimes they're the ones you love most, and that's what blinds you. You make excuses for them because of history, because of what they've done for you before. But hear me, just because someone's been in your story doesn't mean they get to stay. Someone who kills your peace doesn't need to be cruel to be toxic. Sometimes it's their negativity, their small-mindedness, their refusal to cheer for you unless it suits them. They feed on control, even if it's quiet. They want to be the center of your world. And if you start rising above them, they'll pull you back down. They'll stir up drama from nothing, pick fights over nonsense, and pin the blame on you. Why? Because when you're caught in their storm, you can't see them for what they are. And here's the real talk, you can't fix them. You can't love away the darkness they won't face. That's not your calling. Your calling is to guard your peace, to protect the heart God gave you, to know when someone's presence is poisoning your soul. It doesn't matter if they're family. It doesn't matter how long they've been around. If they're draining you, belittling you, filling your life with stress, they're not part of God's plan for you. Letting go is hard, especially when you've poured time, love, and tears into them. You tell yourself, maybe they'll change. Maybe if I explain, they'll get it. But how many times have you had that talk chasing a different ending? How many times have you ignored your gut because the truth hurt too much? Your peace is priceless. It's the foundation of your health, your dreams, your faith. The longer you let someone steal it, the harder it is to find your way back to the light. God's people don't tear you down, they lift you up. They fuel your growth, not fight it. They speak life into you, not death. If someone's presence feels like a war, if your heart's heavy every time they're near, that's your sign from above. You don't owe them an explanation for choosing peace. You don't need to argue or justify. Sometimes the strongest move is to walk away quietly, not in anger, not in hate, but in love for the soul God created you to be. Your peace reflects your alignment with God's will. Guard it with everything you've got. Because when you reclaim it, you'll see that losing those who were never meant for you wasn't a loss, it was God's blessing in disguise. Number 2, they drain your spirit. You ever been around someone who makes you feel like you're carrying the world, even when you're just sitting still? Someone who takes and takes, and no matter how much you give, it's never enough. You pour out your heart, your energy, your time, and you're the one left empty. Those aren't just tough people, they're spiritual leeches. They don't live off bread or water. They feed on your soul. They drain you until you're left with nothing but exhaustion, doubt, and a question burning in your chest. Why am I so worn out around them? It starts small, doesn't it? Maybe it's that friend who's always leaning on you but vanishes when you need a hand. Or that family member who only calls when their world's crashing but ghosts you when you're struggling. Could be a partner who demands all your attention, your strength, your love, but gives nothing back. At first, you don't see it because you care. You want to be there. You want to be the rock they lean on. But before you know it, you're carrying their burdens on your back. You wake up heavy, your mind tangled with their problems, their pain becoming yours. And the worst part, no matter how much you give, they're never satisfied. It's like pouring water into a cracked bucket, it just leaks out, leaving you dry. You don't feel the toll until you step back. When you're in it, you convince yourself you're just being kind, loyal, loving. You say they need me or they're just going through something. But ask yourself, when did they last lift you up? When did you walk away from them feeling stronger, inspired, whole? If you're drawing a blank, that's not a friendship, that's a one-way drain on your spirit. These folks are experts at playing the victim. They know how to tug at your heart, your compassion, your faith. They'll guilt you for setting boundaries, for saying no, for needing space. They'll twist it so you feel like the bad guy if you don't keep pouring into them. But hear me, straight from God's word. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. You're not here to fix someone who won't fix themselves. Some of these spirit drainers are loud, always complaining, always in crisis. Others are slicker. They'll shower you with love, make you feel needed, but it's all for their gain. They don't care about your soul, they care about how much they can take before you break. You feel it after every talk. Do you leave lighter, filled with joy? Or are you anxious, empty, like your spirit's been sucked dry? Your body knows the truth, even if your mind's playing catch up. Listen to it. And it's not just what they do to you, it's how they make you treat yourself. You start ignoring your own needs, your own dreams, because you're too busy carrying their load. You let boundaries slip because it's easier than fighting their manipulation. You lose yourself trying to save someone who doesn't want saving. That's not God's plan for you. Love doesn't feel like this. Friendship doesn't feel like this. Relationships take work, but they're meant to be a two-way street, mutual respect, mutual care, mutual strength. If you're the only one giving, that's not love, that's bondage. You deserve people who fill your soul, not empty it. You deserve those who reflect God's light back to you brighter than before. But walking away, that's the hard part. These drainers know your weak spots. They'll promise to change, to do better, and maybe they will for a moment. But the cycle always returns. They don't want to change, they need you broken to feel whole. So how do you break free? Start by knowing your worth. You're not a dumping ground. You're not their savior. You're a child of God with dreams, needs, and a life to live. Set boundaries because you love yourself as God loves you. Say no without guilt. Walk away without looking back. When you stop feeding those who don't deserve your light, you make room for those who do. And let me tell you, peace after chaos feels strange at first. You might mistake it for loneliness, but that's not what it is. That's healing. That's your soul breathing again, free from their weight. It's the calm after the storm. And in that quiet, you'll find yourself again. So, if you're feeling worn, lost, look around. Who's taking without giving? Who leaves you weaker every time? Let them go not out of hate, but out of love for the life God gave you. The right people won't drain you. They'll fill you with His joy, lift you with His strength, and remind you who you are when you forget. Hold tight to them. Let the rest go. Your spirit is sacred. Guard it with all you've got. Number 3, they're masters of lies. Lies don't always look like lies. They don't always come with a villain sneer. The most dangerous lies come wrapped in smiles, warm words, and promises that feel like love. They look like friendship, sound like truth, but they're cold, calculated traps. Some folks aren't just dishonest, they're artists of deception. Their power is making you believe they're everything they're not. As Jesus warned, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Matthew 7:15. You ever trusted someone with your whole heart, only to find out they were a stranger? One minute you're standing on solid ground, the next you're sinking, wondering how you missed it. That's what their lies do, a slow betrayal that creeps up, leaving you questioning everything. They don't just lie, they craft lies for you. They study your dreams, your fears, your heart, and build a mask to fit your life like a glove. These deceivers don't stumble into their lies, they plan them. They know exactly what they're doing. They'll say what you want to hear, show you what you want to see, play the role of friend, lover, mentor, whatever gets them in. But it's all a performance. The scariest part, they're so good you doubt yourself before you doubt them. That's their gift. They thrive in your trust, controlling you not with force but with illusion. They make you think they're your answered prayer, your missing piece. They echo your values, your hopes, not because they believe them, but to lower your guard. And when your guard's down, the damage starts. It's small at first, a half-truth, a flimsy excuse, nothing to raise alarms. But lies aren't always big, it's the steady drip of small ones that builds a false world. They'll twist the truth, make you question your memory, sow confusion where there should be clarity. They make you feel like you're the one who's wrong, like you're overthinking, like you're seeing things. But deep down, your spirit knows God's whispering the truth, if you'll listen. Their danger isn't just the lies, it's how they play your heart. They don't want your trust, they want your emotions. They'll lift you high with praise, love, attention, then cut you down when it suits them. They create highs so the lows keep you hooked, chasing their approval. And the hardest part? They don't always seem toxic. They can be the most caring, attentive folks in your life. That's the mask. They fake empathy, but it's not real. True empathy comes from a heart touched by God. Theirs is just a tool to keep you close. They know when to act sorry, when to play the victim, not because they feel it, but because it works. But masks slip. Maybe it's a flash of anger, a moment they can't control. And you see it, the coldness in their eyes, the calculation in their voice. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The lie crumbles and you're left with the truth. They were never who you thought. So how do you shield yourself? Trust the spirit within you. Your gut feels what your heart denies. If something's off, it is. Don't ignore it just because they look good. Look at their patterns, not just one moment. Do their actions match their words? Do they own their wrongs or shift blame? Watch how they treat those who can't help them. Liars are kind when it pays, but their true heart shows when there's nothing to gain. Are they fair to all or just those they need? God's truth is consistent, deceit isn't. And listen to your soul. Do you feel safe, valued? or anxious, confused, always second-guessing. Godly connections bring peace. Even in tough times, deceptive ones leave you restless, even when all seems well. Step back if you need to. Clarity comes with distance. You don't owe trust to those who've shown they don't deserve it. Being fooled once happens to us all. What matters is what you do when the truth hits. Do you cling to the lie because it hurts less, or face it no matter the pain? The truth will set you free, but it might break you first. That pain is a gift. It's God's way of waking you up, teaching you to spot the signs, to guard your heart without closing it, to trust His voice above all. You'll heal. You'll rise, and you'll be wiser, stronger. Because once you've seen a lie for what it is, no deceiver can fool a soul guided by God's light. If you're carrying the weight of someone's lies, don't blame yourself. Their craft isn't your failure. Stand tall, walk away, reclaim your power. Because a heart that sees truth through God's eyes is stronger than any lie. Number 4. They feed your weaknesses. There's a kind of person who doesn't come to build you up or push you to your best. Their game is darker, sneakier. They don't call out your flaws to help you grow, they nurture them, like a farmer watering weeds. They feed your fears, your doubts, the habits that keep you small, broken, needy. They don't want you shining, they want you stuck. They don't cheer your growth, they thrive when you're stagnant. As Galatians 6:7 says, do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. These folks sow seeds of weakness, hoping to keep you tethered to their control. You've met them. Someone who never really backs your dreams. They might smile when you talk about your goals, but their words drip with doubt. You sure you're ready for that? Or don't aim too high, you might fall. They call it concern, but it's a chain. They don't lock you in a cage. They just convince you your wings don't work. They don't stop you from growing, they make you afraid to try. They find your wounds and keep them open, not to heal you, but to keep you dependent. As long as you're hurting, you'll lean on them. As long as you're broken, you'll think they're your only refuge. They'll tell you it's fine to quit when the road gets rough, not out of love, but because your struggle makes them feel big. They'll cheer your bad habits, not because they accept you, but because those habits keep you small. They'll mock your dreams, shrug off your wins, remind you of your failures, not to keep you humble, but to keep you down. And here's the twisted part, they do it under the guise of care. They're the first to comfort you when you fall, but they were quietly hoping you'd stumble. They don't want you rising stronger, they want you stuck where they can reach you. Why? Because your growth scares them. Your strength shows their weakness. When you soar, their grip slips and they can't stand it. So they sabotage you, subtle as a whisper. They bring up your old mistakes when you try to change. They laugh at your vision, call you soft when you call them out, act like you're the problem for wanting more. But let's be clear, this isn't love. This isn't friendship. This is control dressed up as comfort. The longer they speak into your life, the quieter God's voice becomes. How do you spot them? Feel the aftermath. After time with them, are you fired up, confident, ready to conquer? Or are you drained, doubting, stuck? God's people push you to grow even when it stings. They speak truth to lift you, not to hurt you. They don't coddle your excuses, they challenge them. They don't feed your fears, they fight them with you. But these weakness feeders, they love your excuses because excuses keep you needy, insecure, scared to step out in faith. They don't push you to heal because your brokenness makes them feel strong. Sometimes they're not obvious enemies. They can be family, friends, lovers, people you love deeply. That's what makes it hurt. But hear this, just because someone's been with you forever doesn't mean they're for you. Longevity isn't loyalty. Some stick around because they've mastered keeping you small without you noticing. But you don't owe anyone the right to keep you broken. You don't have to stay where your growth feels like a threat. You don't have to shrink to make others comfortable. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to leave those who feel like home if staying means losing yourself. Your life, your dreams, your healing, they're your responsibility, given by God. When you see this, everything shifts. You see through the fake support, the masks. You stop begging for permission to shine You don't need people who feed your weaknesses. You need those who call out your strengths, who see God's purpose in you even when you don't. And if you don't have them yet, be that voice for yourself. Be the one who says, "I'm enough," when the world doubts you. Be the one who believes in your dreams when no one else does. Be the one who pushes you forward, refusing to let you quit. You don't need approval to grow. God's already given you the green light. Look around. Who's feeding your fears? Who's cheering your excuses? Who's keeping you small because they're scared of your power? See them for what they are. Step away and do what they fear most. Rise. God didn't create you to stay small. He made you to soar. Number 5. They lack God's heart. Empathy is God's fingerprint on our souls. It's the gift of feeling another's pain, sharing their joy, walking in their shoes. It's what makes us human, what binds us in love, what builds trust. Without it, we're just shadows passing by, cut off alone. But some people in your life have no empathy. They don't feel your hurt because they don't care to. They don't celebrate your wins because they're locked in their own world. They can't love you because they can't love anyone but themselves. When empathy is missing, it's a red flag, a sign they're not who God sent. As 1 Corinthians 13:4-5 says, "Love is patient, love is kind, it is not self-seeking." These folks don't care about your heart, they care about what you do for them. They don't see your choices, your struggles as part of your story. To them, you're a tool, not a soul. They don't notice your pain because they don't see you. Empathy isn't just kindness. When it's easy, it's understanding someone's fight, even when it's messy, even when it doesn't serve you. But for them, your struggles are a bother. Your pain doesn't matter. You felt it. You pour out your soul and they stare back cold, unmoved. Or worse, they tell you to snap out of it when you're breaking, when you're fighting to hold on. That's the mark of a heart untouched by God's love. They don't listen to hear you, they listen to answer, to feel better about themselves, to check a box. They don't sit with your pain. They try to fix it to avoid discomfort, making you feel like your heart's a burden. They can't rejoice in your victories either. They might fake a smile when you shine, but inside they're threatened. Your joy reminds them of their emptiness. They can't cheer for you because they're too focused on themselves. They'll downplay your wins, mock your hard work, or steal your spotlight not out of hate, but because they can't feel joy unless it's theirs. God's love lets us celebrate others. Without it, your success feels like their loss. No empathy, no connection. You can't build trust with someone who doesn't value your heart. Love is empathy showing up when it's hard, standing in the storm with someone, even if you don't understand their pain, because you care. Without it, they only show up when it's easy, when it benefits them. When you need them, they're gone. They might not even know they're empty. It's not always a choice, it's their heart's limit, their inability to connect. But that doesn't make it less painful. Loving someone without empathy wears you down. You feel unseen, unloved, alone. You give, you care, but they can't meet you halfway. Your heart becomes a sacrifice, your needs ignored. Over time, it breaks your spirit. You start wondering, am I asking too much? Is it wrong to want someone to care? No, it's not wrong. Wanting empathy is human. It's God's design for love, for healing. Without it, you feel hollow, questioning your worth not because of you, but because of them. They don't see your light, and it makes you feel invisible. The heart is truth. No matter how much you give, they'll never give back what you need. It's like shouting into a void. They can't connect because they're disconnected from God's love. So how do you protect yourself? First, see the signs. Do they brush off your pain? Make you feel like your feelings are too much? Don't excuse it. You deserve someone who sees you, who values your heart. Second, stop pouring into those who can't receive it. Guard your soul. You don't owe your vulnerability to those who can't honor it. Finally, give yourself permission to walk away. If they show no empathy, it's time to rethink their place in your life. You don't need to stay where your heart's ignored. You deserve God's kind of love, someone who listens, who cares, who shows up. Empathy is the foundation of every bond worth having. It's God saying, I see you, I hear you. If they can't offer that, stop waiting for them to change. Protect your peace and let God bring those who will love you as He does. Number 6, they curse your dreams. There's nothing more painful than someone you trust trying to snuff out the dreams God planted in your heart. You felt that fire, that calling to be more, to do something bigger than yourself. You've stayed up nights pouring your soul into your vision, fighting through setbacks, doubts, fears. You've held on to the purpose God gave you. But some people in your life, they're hell-bent on cursing those dreams, dimming the light you fought to keep burning. As Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Don't let anyone steal God's plan. These folks are dangerous not because they're strong, but because they plant doubt in your heart. They don't get your vision. They don't see the greatness God put in you. And they're scared of you succeeding. Instead of cheering, they tear you down. They speak fear, negativity, and failure over your future, trying to kill the spark God lit. Their words hit hard, heavier than you think. You might shrug them off at first, thinking they're just skeptical. But the more they talk, the more their poison seeps in, until you're doubting yourself. Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe this dream's too big. They chip away at your faith, and before you know it, you're second-guessing God's calling. Their words are a curse, eroding the belief you had in yourself and in Him. It doesn't matter who they are, family, friends, strangers. When they curse your dreams, their words carry weight. Sometimes they're just throwing their own fears at you. They've never dared to chase God's purpose, so they can't imagine you doing it. Their limits become your limits in their eyes. Their failures become reasons you shouldn't try. They don't know what it takes to walk in faith, so they don't believe you can. They don't always say it outright. Often it's subtle, wrapped in fake concern. You sure about this? Be realistic. It probably won't work. Don't set yourself up to fail. These aren't just words, they're meant to make you pause, to doubt, to stall. They plant fear, keeping you stuck. Some go further, they mock your vision, laugh at your goals, call your efforts foolish. They don't get that dreams aren't about logic, they're about faith. About the fire God put in you to change the world. To them, your purpose looks impossible because they've never trusted God's plan. It hurts most when it's someone close, someone who should be your biggest supporter. Their doubt feels like betrayal, a knife to your spirit. You wonder, do they see me? Do they believe in me? But here's the truth, you can't let their fear steal God's promise. Their words come from their limits, not from His wisdom. They curse your dreams because they can't see the power of God in you. But that doesn't mean you stop believing. When doubt gets loud, remember who you are in God's eyes. This isn't about proving them wrong, it's about proving to yourself that you'll fight for what He gave you. Their lack of faith doesn't change His plan. This is your path, your calling. You have the power to shape it, to build something eternal, something that glorifies Him. Every giant in faith faced doubters. The difference, they kept going. Your dreams are bigger than their fear. Your purpose is stronger than their doubt. Your heart is unbreakable if you hold to God's truth. Resistance means you're on the right road. If they're cursing your dreams, it's because you're chasing something big, something they're too scared to try. Let their doubt fuel you. Let their disbelief push you closer to God's plan. Protect your vision. Don't let their voices drown out His. You're stronger than their curses. Your dreams are too holy to let anyone steal. When they speak death, you speak life. Keep breathing faith into your purpose. Keep moving one step at a time until your dreams shine brighter than they ever imagined. And when they come to pass, you'll know you stayed true to God, that you didn't let their words define you, that trusted His plan over their fear. Keep going, your future is God's masterpiece, and it's greater than they can dream. Number 7, they pull you from God. Here's a truth I've learned the hard way. Some people in your life, whether they know it or not, will try to pull you away from God. It's not always a bold attack on your faith. It's not always them spitting on your beliefs. Often it's quieter, sneakier, slipping into small moments, casual talks, distractions you don't see coming. But make no mistake, when you're walking in God's purpose, your peace, your faith, your clarity, they shine like a beacon. And just as light draws some, it draws darkness too. Some folks, friends, family, even those who seem kind will try to dim that light to pull you from the path God set. As Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, John 14:6. Anyone leading you from Him is leading you from life itself. You don't always see it at first. Sometimes it feels harmless, like they're just giving advice or sharing their view. Other times, it's a deliberate move to shake the foundation of your soul. The enemy knows your strength, your joy, your purpose, they all flow from God. So when someone pulls you from Him through temptation, negativity, or distraction, they're not just messing with your day, they're messing with your eternity. When you're not in God's will, you lose the peace only He gives. We live in a loud world pulling us every which way. Some distractions are small, but others are deadly. They come from people who make you question your faith, who make you wonder if God's worth your time. They lead you to confusion, where what once felt right feels far, and what's wrong starts looking tempting. They'll guilt you for praying, for church, like you're shirking your duties. They'll say your focus on God is holding you back from work, from fun, from them. They don't say it outright, but their words, their actions make you doubt if God's path is right. They fill your life with noise, stress, demands that drown out your time with Him. You'll hear it. God's fine if you skip church today, focus on your hustle. You don't need to pray all the time, God gets it. Why read the Bible when you've got bills to pay? These words sound like care, but they're pulling you from your anchor, from the one who holds you steady. And when you let them pull you, when you drift from God, you feel it. Peace fades. Something's missing. Emptiness creeps in even when life looks good. You're cut off from your purpose, your strength. Without God, every fight feels heavier, every burden harder. Some push you further, they tempt you to sin, to do what you know is wrong. They'll say it's no big deal. Everyone's doing it. But every step into sin pulls you from God's peace. It traps you in guilt, shame, confusion, making His love feel far. It's heartbreaking because you know deep down only God's love fills that void. But the enemy uses these people to block you, to keep you from the one who heals, restores, renews. The scariest part, you might not see the drift until you're lost. It's not always a sudden fall, sometimes it's slow, one compromise at a time until you're far from where you stood. Your foundation shakes and you wonder, how did I get here? That's why you guard your walk with God like treasure. See, when someone's pulling you away, even if it looks small, know their influence on your faith. Stay rooted in prayer, in His Word, and His people who keep you close to Him. You might think you're strong enough to handle it, but we all need God. His presence, His guidance, His strength, they're everything. If someone's pulling you from Him, it's a trap to steal your peace, your purpose, your power. You can't let anyone, no matter who, pull you from the one who loves you most. Stay close to God. Hold tight to His truth. He's your refuge, your strength. No one can replace Him. But here's the good news. You don't have to keep these people in your life. You don't have to carry their darkness. You have the power to walk away. When you cut out a demon, you make room for God's blessings. If these signs hit home, listen. Guard your soul. Protect your peace. The moment you let go of the wrong ones, God sends the right ones. And when they show up, your life will shine with His glory. Share your light, God's chosen. Now I'm talking to you, God's masterpiece, created for a purpose only you can fulfill. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." You've heard these signs, felt their weight, maybe seen them in your life. But you're not alone, God's with you. And so is this community of believers. I'm calling you to rise, to share your story in the comments below. Have you faced a demon in disguise? How did God guide you through? Your testimony isn't just yours, it's a light for someone else. A spark to ignite their faith. Let's build a circle of strength rooted in God's love where we lift each other up. You're special, chosen by Him, and your voice matters. Share it, and let's show the world what God's power can do. Thank you. Thank you.